Once upon a time, there was a girl named Jessica Asnon. Jessica lives in California. She has very rich parents, so she is spoiled and wants a lot of expensive things. She is the daughter of a businessman and woman. Her father is the CEO of a large company, and her mother is a clothing designer. She is currently 17 years old and in her last year of high school. Every day she wants something new, like a purse, and she always gets it, and that's what made her very spoiled. She loves to go shopping very often and always buys expensive things. To afford all this, her parents worked long hours. One day, when Jessica had just come home from a day of shopping, she expected her parents to be home to see her, like always, but instead, her parents were not home. She tried calling them, texting them, but none of that worked. She thought it was nothing and thought that they would just come back later in the night when she was asleep. After all, her maid should have been home to care for her. Surprisingly, her maid was not there either. In fact, nobody was in her house, not even her 3 dogs and all of her other pets. They were all gone. She decided to eat a slice of pizza and then go to bed. In the morning, Jessica's parents still didn't come home. She went around the town trying to look for them. She searched every store and skimmed all of the streets. She even asked people where her parents were, but they all replied with an "I don't know." She searched and searched until her last resort was the woods. Outside of this busy city that Jessica lived in, there was a very, very dark forest. She ran home and packed some essentials. She went back to the forest later that evening. The sun was starting to set, but Jessica was determined to find her parents. One step, then two, then five. Her feet touched the soil of the wicked forest, and it sent shivers down her spine. She went deeper and deeper to the point where she couldn't see light anymore. She brought out her phone and put its light on. Deeper and deeper she went. The forest got colder and darker just with a peek of sunlight coming through the leaves and the trees. She had been searching for a couple of days, but she didn't appreciate how long she had been there. She was very scared. In the middle of the night, when Jessica was walking, she saw something. It was a swarm of fireflies. She slowly followed them for some time. The farther she went, the more glowing objects appeared. There were mushrooms, bugs, bats, leaves, and all sorts of animals. At a particular spot, a peak of fantasy came through. Where one goes, one should be absorbed by the fantasy world. Unfortunately, Jessica tripped and rippled into the fake world. Around her, she saw so many glowing creatures and things. She met a small creature. Its name was Mesa. Mesa explained that there was a dark magic that was being leaked into reality, and a particular spirit was causing that. Jessica thought that's maybe what made her parents disappear. And so, Mesa and Jessica gathered up a crew and went to find where the dark magic was coming from. They couldn't find where it was coming from. When they looked up, they saw a giant creature with 3 heads, and on each head there was an eye. Jessica and the others managed to escape and decided to head back. The town that was glowing and shining before was dark and empty. At the same time, a light piano or music box had started playing an unfamiliar tune to Jessica. Jessica and the crew went to investigate, but as they got closer and closer to where they thought the sound was coming from, it got louder. So loud that it hurt her ears. Still, they couldn't find where this was coming from. When Jessica looked behind her, there was only Mesa. They kept walking. The noise got louder and the floor started turning to wood. Wood was very odd. It was like the floor of some kind of building, but they were outside. They stood still for a moment to take a quick breath. Now the music was quieter, but still going. Suddenly, 4 walls closed around them, and through the top peeked the eye. The cage, or so they thought, abruptly shook and opened. This time they weren't in the forest. They were in a hospital-like building, with no light. As Jessica stepped out, she expected Mesa to follow her, but instead he was gone. Jessica was on her own now. She thought that it would be empty, but instead there were mannequins, lots of them, some sitting in wheelchairs and some just laying around. The thing that was so odd about them was their eyes. Again, with the eyes. Jessica started walking down the slim, cold, and dry halls. They were all different kinds of twists and turns, but she chose to keep walking straight. She realized it was a maze or labyrinth. She kept walking straight and found the map. It appeared to be a map of the whole maze. Being the not-so-smart person she was, she just went back to the start and huddled there looking at the map. When she looked at it more closely, she saw the eyes again. This time it was in the background of the map. There was a picture of a figure with a very long neck. She started following the map. Some places there was nothing, and other times there was a note, key, or lever. Soon she found 2 keys and pushed all the levers she could find. When she was heading to the middle, she heard soft, quiet footsteps. Jessica was sure that she was the only person in the maze, so she got very frightened. When she turned the corner, there it was, the creature of the map, with its long neck and mask. It walked towards her very swiftly, so naturally, Jessica ran. She soon stumbled cluelessly upon the middle, with the creature out of sight. There was a podium of 2 blocks, so Jessica put the keys in. The whole room started spinning, faster and faster, and the podium was also moving down. At the end of the corridor, there was a beautiful garden with sakura trees, flowers, vines, and everything a beautiful garden would have. And beyond that, there was a particular spot where reality rippled into fake. There was also Mesa, the crew, and the glowing town in that area. When she looked behind her, she saw her parents. She ran over and tried to hug them, with tears rolling down her cheeks, with her arms up. When she got to them, they disappeared, and everything disappeared. She was just alone in a dark room. Once again, it appeared, the eye, and it was speaking to her. Soon again, Jessica was in the labyrinth. It was a loop. Time was not passing anymore, and everything that was happening again. Once Jessica found the yellow door and found the glowing town and garden, she did not go to hug her parents. Instead, she ran into a wall. Then she ended up outside. She saw that it was a tower, a very tall tower. She was back where she started, where she was before, and entered the school. She ran back on the trail. This time there was no music, no sound, just quietness. She reached the town, and it was glowing. She could touch what was there, and the particular spot where it rippled into reality was there. Jessica take her new friends that she made in the glowing town and looked at the reality ripple. She stepped in and nothing happened. She stepped out and nothing happened. Was she stuck there forever in this imaginary world? Now she was getting scared, when suddenly she saw the eye and everything went black. Jessica woke up in her bed with her maid waking her up. Everything was there. It was just a dream. But everywhere she went, she saw the eye.